tips for conflict resolution. There are different definitions for conflict resolution. In psychology, they define it as two or more strong motives that cannot be solved together. In sociology, it's considered a process or situation in which two or more human beings in groups seek to actively threaten each other's purposes, to prevent each other's interest, even to the extent of injury or destroying the other. Now, I'm really hoping that none of us ever find ourselves in a conflict situation where bodily harm is involved. That being said, what I'd like to do today is give you 4 simple steps to handle basic conflicts with others. There's a lot of information out there on how to resolve conflicts, and we could literally spend days on different techniques. This is a very basic format for conflict resolution, and it's a good place to start. Our first step is to listen. Being able to listen to the other party actively and objectively is one of the most important parts of conflict resolution. People need to feel listened to. Even if your head is screaming, "No, you are wrong," you need to make sure that you are not just hearing with your ears. You must also hear with your brain. Now, this is often where conflicts can begin or become intensified. By listening actively in the moment, as well as reserving judgment about what they're saying, allows us to better understand what the issues are and what is important to the other party. In our second step, we want to convey that we have listened and are listening. The best way to do that is to recognize and clarify. We recognize and clarify by saying things such as, "I see. I appreciate you telling me this. Thank you for sharing." It's a way of acknowledging the fact that you are actively listening and paying attention to what they're saying to you. Another way to recognize and clarify is to paraphrase. In other words, repeat back to them what it is you think they're saying to you. This is a great way to make sure you're both on the same page, that you understand what they're saying. If you didn't, it gives the other person an opportunity to correct you. It's also a subtle way to encourage people to speak more. The more they tell you, the easier the next steps will be. After you've recognized and clarified, the next step is to probe. You want to find out more about their issues. You want to find out more about what is causing the conflict. The way to do this is to probe and ask questions. It's always best to ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that you cannot answer yes or no. It's easy to recognize open-ended questions. They generally start with words like how, which, where, when, why, and what. If you start your questions with words like is, are, do, can, would, could, or should, you will generally be met with an answer of yes or no. Closed-ended questions can be good for clarification purposes. But if you are looking to discover more information, if you are looking to explore an issue further, you want to use open-ended questions. As you are asking questions, remember that you will be starting this process from the beginning again. Listen, recognize and clarify, and then probe as necessary. I generally don't like to go through this cycle more than 3 times in any given conversation. it might start to sound like you are badgering them. Finally, our fourth step is response or resolve. Now that you have a thorough understanding of the issues surrounding conflict, you can begin to respond or resolve it. You may find that you need to do more research on an issue before giving a response, or you may find that you will need several conversations in order to resolve. Conflict resolution can be as simple as solving a customer's complaint or overcoming an objection in a sales call. It can be as complex as trying to solve, well, world peace, and everything in between. These 4 steps, however, will start you on your way. Listen, recognize and clarify, probe, respond, or resolve. I'm Joanne Kirby. My company is Communication Coaching and Consulting. If you have any questions, if you'd like to learn more about this, please make a comment, send me a message, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a great day. Be kind.